Liberty is Sweet, The Hidden History of the American Revolution by Woody Holton. Read by Shaun Taylor-Corbett. Words and Boundaries. Jeff Ward's two-page map at the start of this book differs from many depictions of Eastern North America in the 18th century in showing the boundaries between native nations as well as European colonies. But it is worth remembering that, as with Europeans and settlers, Native American neighbors often disagreed about where exactly the lines ran, and even agreed upon boundaries disguised considerable intermingling, as will be seen throughout the book. Liberty is Sweet identifies indigenous people by their nation, be it Cherokee, Shawnee, or what have you, whenever the sources provide it, but they do not always do so. Moreover, during the Revolutionary era, disparate native nations often coalesced, or tried to. In those cases, should they be referred to as Indians, Native Americans, or what? To call people who lived 8,000 miles from South Asia Indians, as the ever-hopeful Columbus did, is of course absurd. But Native American seems no better, since they reached these shores about 30,000 years before Amerigo Vespucci. And for my generation, at least, even natives reeks of the natives are restless. Indigenous, the term preferred in most of Latin America, people come up hundreds of times in this story, so simply for variety's sake, I follow their modern-day descendants in alternating among all these terms. Sometimes, when I have made my subject clear, I employ the Canadian term First Nations, which is dead-on accurate, but little known outside that country. I refer to the Native Americans who lived principally in what is now Alabama and Georgia, not as Creeks, as their British contemporaries did, and most historians do, but as Muskogees, the term they appear to have preferred, though even that masks the fact that they were, as Bernard Romans called them, a confederacy of remnants, the sole survivors of more than a dozen native nations annihilated by European disease and slave traders. In addition to referring to African Americans and blacks, I occasionally talk about enslaved people, a term more and more historians are using to emphasize that slaves was what they were, not who they were. Finally, I faithfully preserve my sources' creative spelling and grammar, along with their often random capitalization. Prologue. An Invisible Enemy. July 1755. On July 2nd, 1775, when George Washington rode into Cambridge, Massachusetts, to take command of the Continental Army, he
Sample complete. Ready to continue?